there's an element of delusion going on. Who's the most deluded boxer in recent history? I'll throw my hat in the ring, and I would say Chris Eubank Jr. because he thinks he's a killer, but he just beat up cab drivers.
Oh my gosh! You know what? In history,
he stands there like his dad's. Like, sorry, go on.
It's funny because he was going through my Rolodex, as I was going through my Rolodex, I saw his name flash up. But I think there's worse out there like that. But I just can't. I honestly can't think. But if you want to touch on Chris, he's in a funny spot at the moment. I tell you that. Because
what about Wilder?
Nah, because Wilder somewhat could back it up on the main stage. Chris feels like he's bigger than what he actually is, and until you know what it is as a fighter, and I'm gonna let Maverick answer. As a fighter, right? You know, in all genres of life, you have to believe that you're that person, isn't it? Because
I was going to say that.
Yeah, you got to be your own biggest fan. If you're not, and may come across as braggadocious and arrogant, but you are your biggest fan. You got to carry that weight, right? But
but not accepting losses though, like
yeah, and you got to prove it though. You can't just be talking and not proving it. So anyway, that was for the Chris. We go back to the Lopez, but Maverick.
Yeah, see. To your point, and I'll just add to that very quickly. I think if you're a boxer, you have to have a level of delusion. Like Ali said, I was the greatest before they called me the greatest, right?
Yeah.
So there's a level of delusion you gotta have. But for me, the most deluded boxer, and you guys have heard me quote him so many times, and I'm gonna have to say it one more time. I walk the earth as a god.
I was also thinking of him, but he's not that deluded, you know.
That was just a one-off. That was a bad one-off.
We're talking about continuous basis, man.
I don't care. Listen, just for that one quote, and then after we saw his red bottoms, it has to go to Chris Martin, man. You cannot come to another country, say, I walk the earth as a god, wear a crown, and get boxed up in 2 rounds.
Fair enough. No, but alright, cool. All right. There's worse out there. We can even say Adrian Broner, where he said he beat up Pac-Man and he hardly threw a punch.
I'm the can man. Anyone can get it.
American. You can sit down. You can sit down. That's what you can do. All right, cool.
Wait, one more. Who was the guy who fought Tyson? Who was the guy who fought Tyson? Where Tyson was just watching him with the eye. The white dude. When Tyson came out of jail.
Oh, that Italian guy, innit?
Yes. Ran straight into a punch.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool. Listen, Porter has retired.
Mm-hmm.
When are you satisfied with that retirement?
Yeah,
I am.
100%. I am 100%. I think you've got to know when to slide out, and you get me. And you have to slide out with all your faculties. Money, because obviously it is a business. Reputation as well. You don't want to start going down that hole where you're just the beat up guy, where he's looked up as a gatekeeper. I mean, a lot of people saw him as a gatekeeper, a polished one.
Bruh. Listen, yeah. I'm just a punter. I don't know how many times I've got to tell you, I just want to see good fights, bro. And yes, Porter retired. Cool, I can accept that. He's only going to be a top tier gatekeeper. But you've got people like Andre Ward. They're taking liberties, innit? You've got so much more to offer. If Canelo and Fury tried to retire within the next 2 years, I think that would be a liberty too, because there's so many combinations.
It goes back to our argument again, bro. It's like, I'm so glad that you are the punter and you don't make this rule, because you will have man in there getting it, coming out like Sylvester Stallone, bro.
It's not by force. It's not by force.
No. It's ridiculous. You got to know when to slide out. I don't know how Maverick feels about the situation, but all I'm saying, I can back it up, is that he only knows, isn't it? He knows how his bodies feel, and he only knows that, listen, I've given it everything that I've got, and I don't think I am going to get to that next level. Do you know what I mean? He is an ex-WBC champion. Yeah, he's got that on his resume, so there's no shame.
You talk about Porter?
Yeah, I'm talking about Porter. There's no harm in it.
Yeah, he can go. He can sit down, man. He ain't got nothing left to do. Listen, Maverick, what are you saying to me?
Listen, I'm gonna say the same thing as what for the first time ever. what the Riddler is saying. I agree. Listen, as a boxer, as a person, when you're done in anything in life, and if his motivation has gone, and he sees that, look, I don't want to be a gatekeeper no more. Oh, I don't want to be a gatekeeper because I think you said that you felt like he was sliding towards the gatekeeper territory, and he's lost that motivation. It becomes very dangerous for him to enter the ring, right?
Fair enough.
And for me, that's when you realize don't be a Roy Jones Jr. getting knocked out when you're almost 50. That's for me.
That's why we got to respect the top boy, Floyd Mayweather, because he's out here doing what he wants. You know what I'm saying, and still ain't taking no L's. Anyway, I'm done.
Legal robbery.
even Floyd, it'll be for another debate, has got a few questions to answer. I mean, in terms of the fans, they're never satisfied, which leads me to a short conclusion. It's just that no matter what you do, some people are just not satisfied. Excuse me. Can't please everybody. You are your biggest fan, I suppose, and you just have to roll with the punches, no pun intended. You have to be your own man, your own stand-up character, if you will. And there's nobody that's really going to babysit you. When it's all said and done and people look at your resume, it was just you. No father, no son, no uncle, no auntie. It's just you. So you have to do what's best for you. With that, it's been Fighter's State of Mind. We're out.